Theo Morning Show. Good morning, New Haven. This is Moving Target, and I'm your host, Jake Kemp. And with me, as always, is the comrade Remedy Sharif.
Peace, peace, peace. Super Saturday, baby.
Good to see you, brother.
Yes, sir.
Good to see you. I was gonna try to have the people speak to you, but I don't have it. My sound effects. That's all right.
That's all right.
And we also got King Spence. What's up, bro?
What's going on? What's up, New Haven? What's up, Connecticut?
How you feel, man?
I'm feeling pretty good from where I was last week. I couldn't make last week's show.
You had a swelled up eye or something like that, right?
Yeah, man. I got attacked.
Pop goes the weasel.
So what happened, man? You didn't get. So it wasn't a fight in the club.
No, it's not a fight in the club. It was a basketball game, It's made a pretty good comeback. Probably one of the best comebacks I've ever seen. I went up. Somebody came down, tried to block my shot, ended up hitting my eye. The rest is the rest.
The rest is the rest.
I don't even think they tried to block his shot. They tried to take his eye out.
They probably did. You know how haters are.
Yo, I was just saying, Ram, I feel like you were a hacker back in the day.
Yeah.
Because you're a football player. Football players were always hackers.
Yeah, but I didn't hack, man. I'm straight up, I straight up played good defense. What I played.
No,
that's what football player. That's a football player response right there. I played good defense.
All right, so Rem, real quick, I want to ask, did you try to get that Yang money?
The Yang money? What's the Yang? Come on, put me on. Sorry, now. What's the Yang money? I gotta be careful when me and Jay talk, man, because Jay had you.
Andrew Yang, right? I believe that's his name. Andrew Yang, is that the president? The guy who's running for president.
Yeah,
he's running for president.
Yeah.
So he offered $1,000 to, was it 10 Americans? 10 Americans that wanted to apply. They can get $1,000 up until the end of the election.
For what? For doing what?
It's free money.
No, for doing what though? You gotta do something.
You just have to apply, and he'll give you $1,000 a month.
Hey, all right, Mr. Yang. Now we throwing the Mr. All right, Mr. Yang.
That position changed up so quick.
I don't want. Listen, man. I'm good. I'll pay taxes for healthcare. I'm not paying it to have money be given away. I'm good. Even though that's coming out of his own money, but the idea that what he wants to do is to give free money to people, $500 or $1,000 a month. He feels like that's going to boost the morale and it's going to help people be more productive. Nah, man. I'll definitely pay taxes for health care. I'm not paying for people to get free money. I'm good. I had to give him the Kawhi Leonard laugh on that.
This is what Super Saturday is all about, y'all.
It is. All right, so we are going to we're going to get right into this, man. We got a really great show, and we're going to, real quick, though, about Yang, I got to say. He's a funny character to me. If you notice him, like, he puts out his hands like this to try to look like, he looks like Ric Flair, he puts his hands out, and he's all like this, trying to have fun, and trying to be loose, and then it showed him playing ball, and it's like, once Obama played ball, set the standard of a that kept missing.
Promo shoots.
Promo shots wasn't getting no game. Nobody was picking them. It was hilarious, man. He's a funny dude. This whole election is gonna be real interesting. I don't see anybody beating Donald Trump. That's just me personally. But we're gonna open up the phone lines for today's topic because speaking of elections in Connecticut's major cities, it seems like it's the year of the white man in politics. And I ran across this article. A good brother sent this article to me, and I asked him to come on to the show. But just to give you some context, in Bridgeport, State Senator Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Moore. We need more Marilyn. That needs to be her campaign right there. She was up against Ganim. We also had Justin Elliker up against Tony to gain traction in the city's Democratic mayoral primary. Luke Bro breaking election. Blacks and Latinos remain underrepresented at all levels of Connecticut politics. So we're going to dive into this. We're going to unpack this. We're going to have you call in a minute. But before we do that, we're going to have our guest joining us, who is the former campaign manager for Tony Harp and co-founder of Booker T. Washington Academy and manager of strategic partnerships at FaithX in Bridgeport. Jesse Phillips. What's up, Jesse?
What's going on? Good morning, y'all.
Appreciate you coming through, bro. Gonna give you the... They're going crazy for you, bro. So what's up, man? I'm glad you came through. You know what I mean? I met you when you were doing Mayor Tony Harp's campaign, and I'm telling you, like, one conversation with you, and I'm like, man, maybe she's not that bad, because I kept hearing from so many people how terrible she is. Right. You know what I mean? So I want to know from you, like, do you think this is the year of, like the article stated, the year of the white man in politics for Connecticut?
I don't necessarily believe that, but I do believe that this might be the year in a couple of years that folks of color probably
more than Obama, for black people. You know what I'm saying? So shocked about, you know what I mean?
Wait, that he done or that he signed into law?
Right, but you have folks like Van Jones and others out there like, oh, he just signed it.
Yeah, but
he
they
didn't
still
push it.
Well, I mean, but Van Jones, we had Lewis Reed on the show, who also works with.
Lewis, he was out there hitting the pavement all over the country.
Did. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, even that, and then when it comes to black businesses, he did a lot for that. He did president, because I feel like it's all strategic. However, voting for color is the problem I'm having. I feel like we're not voting with an educated mind. You know what I mean? So is it like, do you think we should be voting for color though? Do you think that should be something even on the mind when you're voting for a politician for your city?
I think you should be voting, period. When I vote, like, I bring my daughters with me, right? It's just something that you just need to do, because somebody else was fighting for it. Somebody else was dying for it. Somebody else was getting burned, lynched, raped, whatever. Some folks had to go through a test, right? So at the end of the day, I think it's critical, definitely in local elections. Right? Definitely local elections.
And what about the money aspect? Like, do you think it was, when you were on the campaign for Tony Harp, do you think it was harder for her to raise money than a white politician?
You raise money based on your network, relationships, who you are, right? You could be a pedigree from Ivy League school. You didn't network right?
It just seems like in the city right now, in our city, but when they break down the states or the state and they show the cities that they have white against black, I don't know if somebody said that Marilyn Moore wasn't authentically black. You know what I mean? Somebody made that comment in that article that she wasn't authentically black, and was like propping Ganem up as like, this is the real quote unquote urban power. You know what I mean?
Wow, what is authentically black? Like,
what?
The stereotypes, you throw mop water outside your house growing up, like, what does that mean?
I feel like that's like Hillary Clinton trying to pull out the hot sauce and trying to appeal to the people. You know what I mean? So it's like, but again, I feel like even bringing this into the conversation, we start to distract people from making a well thought out decision on who you're voting for. So even Democrat, like, I don't feel we should be so quick to vote Democrat.
Things like, really, I think one of our main problems, people of color main problem is we vote in a lot of other things off of feelings. Like
what you look like.
But when you hear somebody talk with a certain type of talk, it's like you get that feeling like you're not even really paying attention to.
That's one of the reasons when I choose to vote, or
representing us,
representing. I feel like the mayor could look like anything, but when it come to a president, like being short. If you my height or shorter, I just don't see it. You got to be tall.
That the one thing that he knows that is going to be hard to
go up against is the idea of of clearing debt, clearing school debt. That's going to be hard to beat. I don't care how great Trump is to the white America. That's going to be hard to beat. He said that behind closed doors. But do I see Bernie being the one leading us the whole free.
If Bernie was 6'11", if he was 6'11",
I'll be good.
No,
I'll be good.
If Bernie was 6'11", he still can't do it because he's one incident away from something major happening here in America, and Bernie's gonna mess around and have a heart attack. God forbid. I don't want to. He's really,
that's a whole other conversation.
He's really too old. Bernie looks, when he holds the podium, his arms are shaking.
All of them. Well, Joe Biden, he talked about like they're having some mental failure, even with Trump too.
Better get some ginkgo biloba.
I know that stuff works.
Force feed him.
Obama, went in looking a certain way and left looking a lot older. So you can imagine when you go in 85, you know what I mean? You're gonna age. You're gonna be 107 by the time you leave the first term. So I think back to this conversation of how we're voting, how we're making this decision. Like let's talk locally. When it comes to the pros and the cons between what wins, and it's not as much as people might want to talk bad about Toni Harp. She still does have some good achievements. Not to mention the Q House is about to open up finally.
Absolutely. She got tons of it. I mean, you talking about somebody with 30-something years of service as an elected official, but not just that. But, I mean, she used to be the director of homeless services for Cornell Scott for years.
Wow.
Right? That was her day job. Like, I'm caring about services being provided for folks who are homeless. And I did her values and things that she believed in, right? Because she didn't have, like...
So how do you think Justin Elicker pulled it off, man? Like, I don't really know much of his track record at all.
I hate money more than quarterbacking a little bit. I just think that Justin was able to
of what she didn't do. Like, she already started off that whole thing in a position.
Tell the mayor this, why the mayor that, or I'm at state issues, federal issues. It's all Toni Harp's fault. All Toni, because most of the time, right, when folks, I'm down and out, I gotta blame somebody. So let me blame this black woman. For what?
Right.
For what?
So here go an example.
Yeah, please tell me, because I really feel like people just
for one example, we had a brother that was running for
And I feel like when it comes to we don't really know that she might not be the one. I think what the distrust that would occur is because people did not see Toni Harp when there wasn't big press. And I feel like that is what people...
The way we ran it in 2017. I'm not going to knock it, but what I am going to state is like facts, right? You saw a woman that I know that got up literally, 6:30 every morning? I can barely get up. I says, I want her dad.
Okay. That makes a big difference. I know explain to me the funding. I know that when I was reading the article, there was something where you cap at $390 that you could raise up to from an individual, and then Toni Harp didn't choose to do that.
Right, the public campaign finance, right?
Okay, so explain that, because that also looked like it was in favor of Justin because he was more in integrity of saying, oh, yeah, I'm going to cap it at $390, but you didn't choose to do that.
Right.
And Mayor Hart was like, well, I'm not going to get that money that we need for this campaign. So he
to go in the public finance. New Haven was the first pilot in the state to do public campaign finance. He decided to do that where taxpayers help match either 2-for-1 sometime. Every threshold, you have to get a certain amount of number of New Haven folks to donate to your campaign, and then you get grants. I don't know the whole details of it, but that's how it works. Okay. And you have to cap your individual contribution at 3 and some change. She decided to go the regular route. Jay, can you get to my campaign 20, 50, 100, 1,000, whatever you choose to to give.
Do you think she because Justin was a little wealthier, and do you think it was easier for him to take that position? And as a black woman in New Haven, do you think we have to be able to get as much money as we can? Like, I'm trying to see if maybe that's where also race plays a role here in this election.
No, I mean, that's more of a tactic thing, right? I can right now my birthday's in November, right? I don't think I'm popular, but I think I'm pretty known enough to where if I'm gonna have a party, 98% of folks are probably gonna be from New Haven. Mm-hmm. I can just say like, hey, I need you guys to contribute, right? There's nothing stopping folks from, depends on where you think you would get your money from. And it's not saying that she couldn't do the same thing. right? It's just something that she didn't, choose to do. I think it's easier to run in the public campaign finance program.
What would you do different right now with her campaign?
You can't provide for your family.
Right. How tax hike that is geared to people so much?
I wouldn't say New Haven, the tax hike is geared towards the wealthy.
No, I'm not saying it is. I'm asking is could they do that? Is there a way to do that? Like how?
That's not happening.
Okay.
It's not. As much as I might say, I'm not.
You know what I'm saying? And they should know exactly how this is all going.
Anytime you use city services, you empower
about it.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
knowing the decision you have to do as a mayor that you would.
I think that, if what you would encourage your apathy, you need. Sometimes you don't even know the answer.
Bring some kids into the tables that are like, yeah, we talked about it.
Right.
I think because we need to raise future. Call us up, join in on the conversation. You could ask Jesse some questions. And we're going to also, obviously talk about, is this the year of the white man politics for Connecticut? I
don't think anybody gets any mad love in any city, right? If you look at, compared to the number of voters that they have in the right? So Hartford, New Haven, Bridgeport all got over 30,000 Democratic voters. Where you only got 10,000 people showing up or 9,000 people showing up, that's not mad love, right? That's folks are barely paying attention, or maybe they just don't believe in anybody, so they're going to choose to stay home, right? Granted. But I just think that he's just smart when it comes to political strategy and tactics, right? And the funny thing is, if I'm going to run for office, I'm going to pay attention to how my opponent won their election. So if he's good on ABs, and that's been his tactic since he got out of jail, granted, that's going to be the first thing I'm going to focus on when I start my campaign.
Since who got out of jail?
Since Joe Ganim, right? That's how he beat the Mayor Finch when he came back.
So what did he go? I'm sorry, I don't know the history. What did he go?
So the strategy is mainly like, all right, you can either win total votes, or you can win votes on the machine plus ABs, vote in absentee ballot. Focus on a strategy on how we going to beat that, if that's been his strategy.
Right.
Don't complain afterwards like, oh, he did this, he did that. It's like, you knew what he was going to do.
There's a lot of people that'll be like, the white-owned probably has better quality. And I feel like that's starting to play into our choice of politics as well, especially because I'm surprised that there's still an underrepresentation of black and brown politicians across the board. I'm really surprised. I really think at the core of that, white standard is the issue. You know what I mean? So like even now when you have a Justin Elicker against a Tony Harp, I feel the people who are complaining about Tony Harp would lean even easier on Justin Elicker because he's white. And that's just my perception. Do you think that's kind of far-fetched to think that?
I think you have some. Most folks that I've talked to in New Haven, there was a reason for them voting the way they voted. I wouldn't say that it was because Justin is white and he just seems better, right? I just think misinformation and disinformation cause folks to either not vote or to vote for him and vote against her. Because you didn't see this overwhelming number of New Haven folks vote for him, or overwhelming African American and Latinos vote for him. No, you didn't see that. You just saw right strategy. If you look at 2013 when he ran, he maintained his base, right? That he won several years ago. And then you got a couple of folks who either stayed home, and I got a couple of folks, African Americans and a couple of Hispanics. Just literally like a couple. It wasn't something like major.
It wasn't a major turnout.
No, so it's not like I got a mandate from communities of color or anything like that. No.
And what's up with Hartford? I mean, Hartford, you got there's a lot of stuff going on in Hartford, and you got this brother who's from the suburbs who's just they said he's heavily favored to win. So what's going on? What's the dynamics?
I think Bronin, lady or whatever. I just think that Bronin, he has a track record though of doing some things. Definitely,
that's already.
So everybody gonna sit there like, oh, we could have been bankrolled, but because of Bronin, $800,000 and that he raised for his election.
Again, call us up 203-562-9430. Join the conversation. So what can we do to really start getting the public educated on their choices? And I don't mean the vague talk. I'm talking about what are some strategic ways to start really getting people about how they choose their grassroots
voter education.
Right.
On issues. And it's like, I mean, and making sure that it's factual stuff that you're bringing up. But the more you talk about politics, the more people need to listen and be informed.
Yeah.
Regardless of hoping that you're giving correct information, but you're also just challenging debate. You're challenging issues that are affecting our community.
Right.
Because you don't hear it, right? Either you listen. Most time we on paying attention to somebody live.
I think whoever's running for these mayor positions or whatever, they need to build some type of body within their campaign that'll really literally go do.
She have like cafe, or didn't she do something Monday or something, or every once?
That's knocking down
understanding. Usually, if you're into politics as a high school, you have to go and find it on its own.
That's true. Very true.
Yeah.
And you know, because there's a time where all this information.
in the news and you promote heavily. Why me?
I would say officially is the primaries and not the November general election,
right?
Because that's where everything. You got cities with New Haven got 2,500 Republicans, right? You got several thousand unaffiliated independent, but these elections are decided in primaries, not in November. So most likely there's not going to be anybody running against any of these folks that are coming in November.
Is Mayor Hart gonna still actually run, or is this are we pretty much gonna have a new mayor? Can you talk on that?
I think we are waiting to see.
Okay.
I mean, at the end of the day, like somebody who has dedicated their lives, right? And I explained to you guys even what her day job was.
Yeah.
Sis, take as long as you want and need.
No
it's
doubt.
Like,
true.
You
true.
earned it. You deserved it. It's like people can say whatever they want. Unfortunately, right? They're going to do that regardless. But hell, you ain't got nothing to lose.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's just like at the end of the day, do what you want to do, right? Take whatever time. And folks need to understand that even the emotional aspect of thinking about these decisions, and as well as also coming to grips with what happened.
Right.
You know, it's like I've given my entire life, and folks have stuck. You know, I mean, even the Bible says it, right? Folks rather believe the lie instead of the truth, right? And just imagine somebody who's like, yo, none of this stuff is factual, right? Now, granted, she might not know, like, that's not her stuff. Let me go on live and really set the record straight. That's not her thing, right? I mean, we talking about a generational difference.
Big generational
But at the end of the day, just think like all these folks believed a lie that was not true.
Right.
And just you coming to grips to, Dad, do my community feel like this towards me?
Right. That's hard.
Like
That's
that
tough.
right there, you got to understand the emotional. And it's like, you don't just get over that jump overnight. Like, no.
And it's also, you know, I think a lot of people are, I know you're Democrat, right? But you know the history of Democrat Republicans. You know black people were not always Democrat. You know what I mean? And there's debate on whether Democratic is actually for the people. You know what I mean? There's a strong debate on that. But I feel like people need to make sure that they are choosing Democrat, that they're voting row A, whoever they're choosing.
Right.
Know why you're doing it. If you're doing it based off of the echo chambers of everybody else's talk or posts, it's like, yo, we're not gonna grow from that. There's no way.
What about Seth?
Yeah, that's who we for. We for Seth Poole.
What about Seth?
He looked down.
No, he looked down at his notes.
Why you got to say that?
He looked down at his notes.
He looked down at his notes.
No. I looked at this
CNN.
CNN.
Yeah, let's clear that up, bro.
No, wait. Seth and I, we know each other. He's a good brother. I'm not going to front. He's a good brother. He was actually part of the working group to start this Whitney Young Old Boys Academy. You know, the one that we was looking for you to be a part of.
I still do, brother. I still do.
But he's a good brother. He's passionate. He cares. I mean, he's from the city, right? He knows, right? He's a good brother. His wife is a good sister who went to her house. Like that's.
And then that requires some things. You're gonna have to shake some hands with people you might not like. I'm assuming.
Or you can self finance.
Yeah, but that's a
What's
lot.
the chances of that?
Trying to get this money. I'm trying to open up the conversation, and you said it best when you texted me. Let's build the people up politically. Yeah. Once a month we can attack one thing to get people really educated on who they're voting for.
Gotcha.
All right, and